Alright, welcome, and I'm going to show you how to solve this question in under 2 minutes, so stay tuned. Let's get started. So I have 2 plus, let's use another pen, 2 plus square root of 2, entire thing squared. Now when we have a form of a plus b squared, we can use a formula that we can memorize, which goes like this: a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And we have to assign what's gonna be our a and what's gonna be our b and plug all the numbers back into our formula that's right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna assign 2 as my a, and square root of 2, I'm going to assign this number b. So we have a plus b squared form. Because we could put these two numbers in a plus b squared format, we can plug those numbers back into our formula, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, where our a is equal to 2 and b is equal to square root of 2. So let's go ahead and do that. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and a is 2, b is square root of 2. All there is left for us to do is solve this out. We have 4. 2 times 2 times square root of 2 is, well, we first deal with integers first. So 4 times square root of 2 is 4 square root of 2. And then square of square root of 2 is, well, we can just eliminate those 2 and come up with 2. All those, add all those up, and we have 6 plus 4 square root of 2. Okay, so that's basically how you would approach this question. Let's go a little bit further. What if we have something like 1 plus 0.1 squared, something like that? Or you might be given, what is 1.1 squared? And you're not allowed to use your calculator. How would you approach this? Well, you could always, manually compute 1 plus 1 times 1 plus 1 and solve it out this way. But I want to suggest using the a plus b method. So, in the same fashion, 1 or positive 1 is going to be our a, 0.1 is going to be our b, and we're going to plug in those numbers into our formula for a plus b squared, which is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Now plug those numbers back into our formula. A is 1, b is 0.1. So we are left with 1. 2 times 0.1 is 0.2. 0.1 squared would be 0.01. Add those all up, and we are left with 1.21. Alright, so let me give you another question that's gonna be very confusing to you. Now that we know a plus b formula, let's try solving a little bit more challenging question. Say 2 minus square root of 3 squared. Can you solve this? Well, you may pause the video and try it for yourself. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you how I would approach this. Well, there are various ways to solve this, but one is to use a minus b squared formula, which is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Now, in order to use this formula, you have to have it memorized. And it's not a bad idea to have this formula memorized. Meanwhile, you can solve this without using this a minus b formula. And that is, we're going to continue using the same a plus b squared formula. How? Well, if we assign a2 to a, and if we define b as negative square root of 3, then we can express our original expression as a plus b squared. Isn't that right? A plus b squared. So we can just write down what we know for a plus b squared. A squared, 2ab, b squared, and then plug in 2 for a and negative square root of 3 for b. So that will be 2 negative square root of 3, negative square root of 3. And that'll give us 4 minus 4 square root of 3 and 3. Combine them all together and we will have 7 minus 4 square root of 3. Now, if we use the the a minus b formula, let's see if we can get this 7 minus 4 square root of 3 using the a minus b squared formula. Now, if we use this formula, our a will equal 2 and b will equal square root of 3, not negative square root of 3. So it'll come out to be 2 square root of 3 square root of 3. And that'll be equal to 4 minus 4 square root of 3, 3. And as you can see, it'll equal to 7 minus 4 square root of 3, which is the same as the answer we previously got. Now, I'm just going to give you a summary and then a little more challenging question in the end. So summary is a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Once you get to know this, you will use this throughout your high school, college, and even your grad school. So have it memorized. A minus b squared formula, however, is not mandatory, but it's nice to know. A squared minus 2ab plus b squared. It's not vastly different from the first formula, so I would advise you to memorize both. And if you don't want to, you have to learn how to treat negative b as b. And just remember to plug negative number into the formula in place of b. So the last question that I wanted to go over with you is the following. What if we have negative 2, negative 2 plus 5, let's make it square root of 5, squared. How would you solve this? Well, there are various ways and I'll show you each one, not all the steps, but how you would plan to solve this. First, you can change places and make it more, user-friendly by stating 5 minus 2 squared. It's the same thing. I only exchanged places for those two variables. For those two numbers, not variables. So you can solve by applying a minus b squared formula. where a is square root of 5 and b is 2. Or you can use a plus b squared formula using a is square root of 5 and b is negative 2. Now you see how it will all check out, right? Well, so that's one way. And that's I won't have to go over how to carry out all those calculations. It's kind of redundant, but there was something that I wanted to go over. Let's see, a plus b squared formula. So you can either change places. Oh yes, I now remember. So you change places of numbers without having the signs confused. So that's one way. Second way is to just solve it as is. So define negative 2 as a and square root of 5 as b, and plug those numbers back into the formula of a plus b squared. Right? That also makes sense, right? You can visualize how that would make sense as well. Alright, so that's another way. So off the top of my head, I have 3 methods to solve this original question. I would change places of those 2 numbers, like so, and use a minus b squared formula. That's first way. Or use a plus b squared formula. And then last method, my third method would be to just solve it as it is by defining a as negative 2 and b as positive 5 and use a plus b squared formula. So, if you have a deeper understanding of this a plus b squared formula and a minus b squared formula and work around it, you can very fastly and easily solve a problem like this. So I hope it helped, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!